Welcome to World Alert Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Breaking news. South China Sea tensions erupt as a Chinese Coast Guard ship rams a Philippine supply vessel. For the crew of the BRP Sierra Madre, this is no headline. It's a life-or-death struggle. The Sierra Madre, a rusting Wantu relic, is grounded on Second Thomas Shoal as a symbol of Philippine sovereignty. Its crew relies on dangerous resupply missions for survival. Each trip a high-stakes gamble against Chinese aggression. On the bridge, Filipino sailors scan the horizon, bracing for confrontation. The Chinese Coast Guard looms, larger, more powerful, issuing radio warnings and demanding retreat. The Filipinos hold course. Their mission as much about defiance as delivery. The Chinese ship cuts across their bow, escalating the standoff. Suddenly, water cannons blast the Philippine vessel, shattering windows and injuring crew. The attack is violent, meant to intimidate without gunfire. The crew documents everything, turning footage into their weapon for the world to see. This is more than a maritime dispute. It's a clear signal of Beijing's intent to dominate the South China Sea. China uses its Coast Guard and maritime militia to harass and block other nations, staying just below the threshold of war. These calculated provocations create a constant crisis, wearing down smaller nations like the Philippines. The sailors on the Sierra Madre are on the front lines of a new kind of conflict. Their endurance and courage are shaping the future of the Indo-Pacific. Each confrontation is a test of will, not just of strength. The world is watching, and the stakes are global. The South China Sea is no longer just a flashpoint, it's a battleground for the rules that govern the world. The outcome here will echo far beyond these contested waters. The Second Thomas Shoal, a Yungan shoal to Filipinos, is now a symbol of resistance. In 1999, the Philippine Navy grounded the BRP Sierra Madre here, countering China's advance at Mischief Reef. The ship, decaying and isolated, is a precarious outpost manned by Marines living in harsh, cramped conditions. Chinese vessels, from Coast Guard cutters to disguised militia boats, form a loose blockade, shadowing every move. Their goal: make life so difficult that the Philippines abandons the shoal. Every resupply mission is a flashpoint, with Chinese ships using water cannons, blocking maneuvers, and even lasers to force retreat. These confrontations are recorded and broadcast, exposing China's tactics and rallying international support for the Philippines. The Marines endure not just physical danger, but relentless psychological pressure. Each mission could end in disaster, yet their resolve never wavers. The struggle has galvanized the Filipino people, turning the Sierra Madre into a symbol of national pride. The cost is high: injuries, damaged vessels, and constant stress. But the message is clear: the Philippines will not back down. The world sees their courage, and the call for stronger alliances grows louder. Standing alone is no longer an option. The fight for Ayungin Shoal is a fight for sovereignty, and for the future of the region. The Philippines is determined to hold the line. China's gray zone tactics are changing the game in the South China Sea. These are aggressive moves: ramming, blockades, swarms of fishing boats, deliberately kept below the threshold of war. By using Coast Guard and maritime militia instead of the Navy, China creates confusion and plausible deniability. Artificial islands become military outposts, extending Beijing's reach. Each small step adds up to a massive strategic gain, all while avoiding open conflict. The ambiguity paralyzes other nations. Military response risks war, diplomatic protests are ignored. China exploits this hesitation, pushing boundaries and solidifying control. It's a creeping invasion, not just in the South China Sea, but also in the East China Sea and along the Indian border. The world is waking up to the threat. These tactics undermine international law and the rules-based order. The confrontations at Second Thomas Shoal are part of a global strategy demanding a coordinated response. The challenge is clear: gray zone tactics are winning without war. The question now: how will the world respond? The stakes couldn't be higher. The South China Sea is a global lifeline. 1/3 of world shipping, trillions in trade, and vital energy supplies pass through these waters. Disruption here would send shockwaves through the global economy. Beneath the waves lie vast reserves of oil, gas, and some of the world's richest fishing grounds, resources critical to regional growth and food security. Control means economic power, making the stakes enormous for all surrounding nations. Legally, the region is just as significant. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines, rejecting China's sweeping claims. Beijing ignored the ruling, challenging the rules-based order. If powerful nations can disregard international law, global security is at risk. For the US and its allies, defending freedom of navigation here is about upholding the principles of a stable world. The fight for the South China Sea is a fight for the future of global governance. China's pressure has united the Philippines like never before. Outrage over Chinese aggression has turned maritime disputes into a matter of national pride. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has taken a firm stand, rejecting appeasement and asserting the 2016 arbitral ruling. His administration is pivoting toward comprehensive defense, modernizing the military and strengthening alliances. The U.S. alliance is being revitalized, but Manila is also forging new partnerships, especially with Japan. The focus has shifted from internal threats to maritime security, with investments in ships, aircraft, and radar. The message is clear: the Philippines will defend its territory and rights. This new resolve is backed by public support and a government determined to stand firm. The country is no longer a passive observer. It's an active defender of its sovereignty and regional stability. The world is taking notice. The U.S.-Philippines alliance, anchored by the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, is back in force. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement now allows U.S. forces access to more bases, including sites near Taiwan and the South China Sea. Joint military exercises like Balikatan have grown larger and more complex, focusing on maritime and coastal defense. These drills build real combat readiness and send a strong deterrent message to China. Washington's commitment is explicit. Any attack on Philippine forces or vessels in the South China Sea triggers the treaty. This removes ambiguity and raises the stakes for Beijing. The revitalized alliance gives the Philippines the security guarantee it needs to stand firm. The partnership is now more credible and combat-ready than ever. The U.S. and Philippines are shoulder to shoulder, ready to respond to any crisis. This renewed alliance is a cornerstone of regional stability. The message to aggressors: think twice, the era of drift is over. Japan is transforming its security policy, doubling defense spending and acquiring new capabilities. Driven by threats from China and North Korea, Tokyo is now a key partner for the Philippines. Japan's stability depends on open sea lanes through the South China Sea, making support for Manila a strategic imperative. Japan is supplying patrol vessels, radar, and training to help modernize the Philippine military and Coast Guard. The partnership is deepening, with negotiations for a reciprocal access agreement to enable joint training and exercises. This agreement will elevate the relationship to a true strategic partnership. Japan's support is critical, as the Philippines builds credible defense against external threats. The two countries are moving beyond equipment to real operational cooperation. Together, they're building a robust defense partnership for the Indo-Pacific. Japan's new role is reshaping the region's security landscape. The U.S., Japan, and the Philippines are forging a powerful trilateral partnership, the Iron Triangle. Their first trilateral summit in Washington marked a new era of coordinated defense and economic security. Joint patrols in the South China Sea now demonstrate unity and uphold freedom of navigation. Trilateral military exercises are growing, with Japan joining Balikatan and multilateral drills with Australia. These operations build real-world readiness and trust among the three nations. The U.S. and Japan are also helping the Philippines boost its defense capabilities and intelligence sharing. A secure communication network will give Manila real-time awareness of its waters. The Iron Triangle is more than a concept. It's a working partnership, growing stronger every day. Together, they're setting a new standard for regional security. The U.S.-Japan-Philippines Trilateral Alliance is a game-changer for Indo-Pacific security. It's a defensive shield, not a sword, meant to deter conflict and uphold international law. By standing together, these democracies counterbalance China's ambitions and raise the cost of aggression. Any attack on the Philippines now risks drawing in both the U.S. and Japan. This collective security arrangement gives Manila the backing it needs to defend its sovereignty. The alliance is multi-dimensional: military, economic, diplomatic, and capacity building. It weaves the three nations together through shared interests and values. The goal: a stable, peaceful, and prosperous Indo-Pacific for all. The alliance reassures Southeast Asia that no nation stands alone. The Iron Triangle is a cornerstone of a growing network for peace. In the South China Sea, the future will be decided by unity, not might.